What's up, everybody? Coming at you live from a football pitch high above Burbank, right next to the Burbank Airport. And I say that because if you hear any planes, it's because literally Burbank Airport I could like throw something to it. I won't because I'll be arrested right away. And you're wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses, not just because I'm outside. It's because I have two superstars with me who did an incredible show today. I have Sesselmann, former player with the Canadian national team, Olympian, World Cup. How many more things do you want?
You did a great job.
Okay, but the check's in the mail, right? Yeah. Okay. And of course, Jessica Black from the She Knows Arsenal podcast. But what they did today, I just have to say, guys, Angels Wear Boots, first episode today, incredible, with Nina and Amanda as well. That was a great show. It was a big show, hour long. This show will not be as long because I got places to be. No, I'm kidding. We've got a lot to talk about here, but as I remind you guys about Angels Wear Boots, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel because it's not just football without borders. It's Angels Wear Boots. It's LAFC 360. It's the Expansion Mansion. Sometimes there's fun stuff. Maybe we'll bring back the skits. I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff that you guys should check out. So please subscribe. It's free to subscribe. I see someone saying no. There's a crew member. No. Hey, I wrote those sketches. I thought they were okay. But go ahead, hit the subscribe. It's free. It don't cost nothing. Maybe even hit the like button and the bell. Do you guys know what the bell does on?
I don't, but
YouTube?
hit it.
It reminds you of new shows when you subscribe.
Well, I really was hoping you had something funny, but that was like legit what it does do. I'm messing with you. We're going to have a lot of fun here. Jess, I'm going to guarantee you within this show, because of how good you are at these and the tactics, you're going to get me back. I know it. I just know it. You'll get me back. You will. So as I say that, let's get into it. There was a lot of action around the world of the highest caliber, a lot of Champions League action around the world. So let's get it right into hashtag what's trending. See, she likes it. You hate it. I love it.
I liked it.
Okay. Not everyone likes my karate chop. It is what it is. I'm going to start us off, though, and like I said, we are going to do Champions League. We'll start off with the UEFA Champions League in Europe, and we'll start off with what I think a lot of people thought was one of the greatest games they'd ever seen. I would say you're probably very young. But this was a pretty good game. Manchester City 4, Real Madrid 3. On a scale of 1 to 10, the greatest game you've ever seen, or 1. Where was that game for you guys?
Wow. I would have to say probably about a 9.5 for me.
Okay, now why?
Yeah. No, it was a very, very exciting game for me, and I mean lots of goals. I think it was the most goals ever scored in semifinal.
Okay,
Champions
this is a good start.
League, I think so. But Kevin De Bruyne, this starts off right bat, scores a goal, opens it up for Man City. Them getting four goals. Real Madrid. Benzema getting 2 PKs. He had missed 2 PKs prior to that. Goes right down the middle. And it was an exciting game. The only thing for me, defensively, was a little shaky.
Yeah, you are a defender.
On the Real Madrid
side. Were you cringy a little bit?
I was cringing, especially in the Real Madrid side. I don't know what this was, that they was half-assed, can I say that? Half-assed defending.
You just did.
It was lazy. I don't think they just didn't have all the defensive tendencies correct, playing goal side the right way. They just didn't seem to want it defensively, and I'm just like, get the ball out of there, but
yeah,
that's my take.
You had a highly technical side in Manchester City and a team that just vibes, baby.
Yeah.
So how did you see it play out?
Yeah, I mean, I think you summarized it very, very well. You have Manchester City, one of the best technical teams in the world, versus a team with vast experience at winning these types of competitions. Do they have some dodgy defenders? Probably. I don't think Militao had a great game. Carvajal didn't have a very good game. But they have players like Benzema and Modric that can get the job done. And I do think that when I watch this tie and I'm like, okay, so 4-3, where does that leave Man City? They were weirdly open like they usually aren't. But you have to add context. Mm-hmm. They didn't have Kyle Walker. They had to play John Stones. Fernandinho was getting burned by Vinicius. So it's one of those where you have to add that little bit of context, but for them to still be that open and to leave this tie the way that they are going to the Bernabeu, we saw what Real Madrid did to Chelsea. They scored 3 goals at the Bernabeu and still didn't go through. Again, Benzema, Modric, they have 8 Champions League medals together combined. That's a lot of experience, and Casemiro will be back. I don't know, I think Pep may have let this one slip away just a little bit. And Manchester City have got to win the Champions League this time around. Pep's never won it with Man City, and the pressure is on. I have to say that I think that Real Madrid might go through because of the experience factor. We've seen it before. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, because Real Madrid is a team mostly of individuals, and Carlo Ancelotti is a coach of coaching individuals and not necessarily a particular style, we have a hard time analyzing them, right? We just say like, Benzema, he's great. Modric, he's great. And they do great individual things. So the one thing that everyone consistently said in every single round with Real Madrid, against PSG, against Chelsea, don't leave them in here. And I think that Pep walks away from this going, they're still in it, guys. Like, we had them against the ropes and they are still in it. So what does Pep have to, now he's going to the Bernabeu. He knows that he's playing against individual players how do you game plan for individuals?
I mean, I guess you just have to play like a team, but equally, I just feel if they can get at least one of their fullbacks on the right-hand side there in that gap, that will solve a lot of their issues. I think a lot of those problems came off of that right-hand side with Vinny Jr. just running down against Stones and Fernandinho. But they just have to go back to basics and just believe in the system that they have. They're really well trained, but I don't know, the individual brilliance of Benzema and Modric just may be too much. I mean, and then you have the nerves that set in, the anxiety that sets in, like we have to do it. So we'll see what happens, but I think this one could really go either way. Now, let's talk about a tie that was different, a game that was not the most exciting game that we've ever seen. It was more what we expect, and that's Liverpool 2, Villarreal 0 in the Champions League. First leg of this tie. Okay, I want to word this correctly. Did Villarreal do well to only give up 2 goals? Did that keep them in, or is it too far gone? I mean, 2-0 is not a big score line.
Yeah, I think that they still could have a chance. I mean, they're going to be playing at home next game. And, 2-0, I mean, I think that's very easy for them to be able to come back, but they didn't get any shots on goal. That's the only thing. So you got to have shots on goal to score goals. But Villarreal, I think they were just kind of figuring things out against a strong Liverpool side. I mean, they kind of switched things a little bit, like 15 minutes in, playing more out of the back, and then that high press from Liverpool. And it just wasn't working out for them. So Liverpool just kind of picked their chances, and in the second half, they came, they got that goal on the board, and they got 2 goals, and Mane had a great game.
But you're a defender. Didn't you love the defensive tactics of Villarreal? I mean, look.
I do.
Yeah, I want to ask you about this. So you're a defender, and look, we were just talking about that Real Madrid-Man City game. We were talking about bullfighting. We're basically, like just letting guys go by. I mean, Villarreal, you're right. They didn't get any shots on target. However, to only give up 2 goals to Liverpool, one of them an own goal, and I would say a bit lucky.
Yes.
What do we make of their defensive prowess?
I told you before this was my dark horse team. I wanted them to go on through to the final. And so just to see the heart and the passion they put, they are out there fighting, And so for me as a defensive mind, like I liked it. I liked what I saw. They were giving up a little bit of passes when they were trying to play out of the back there, but that's to be expected with a high press that happens. But hey, they were fighting, and they're not going to give up, and they're going into this next game where they could have possibly a chance. So we'll see what happens.
Well, Jess, you understand Unai Emery very well, and the one point I want to make is he does this, and he is able to put a scheme together to keep his team compact, and even when there's extra runners and teams really commit players forward, he can get his forwards to shift into wide roles and do things like that. However, when you do that, the flip side is you want to get some kind of reward for it, and it's through transition. Can he win a game without transition? Because Liverpool, I think, defensive transition is one of the best in the world.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to what you guys were saying, you call it defensive solidity. I call it parking the bus. That's pretty much what they did.
Hey, Jose, calm it down.
They parked the bus, and when the own goal from Estupiñán, it's one of those where I think it just deflated them, and it was like 5 minutes of like, we worked so hard, we stayed in our positions, and we made sure that going into the half, Unai Emery had to have been so ecstatic. Mm-hmm. We got in there 0-0, but then you give up the own goal, it deflates you, and then Liverpool, they smell blood, and then they get the second goal, and it's kind of done from there. With the transitions, if you don't have players that Liverpool are afraid of, they don't respect you. Virgil van Dijk and Konate weren't even at the halfway line, they were pushing up into the box to create pressure. They were not afraid of what Danjuma could do. I forget what the other winger that they have. What's his name?
Moreno wasn't great either.
Yeah, like their players.
It was jittery.
Yeah, it just. I guess because you're only going to get like one chance.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, okay, when I get it, I just snatch at it or I make the wrong pass. So I don't think Liverpool really looked troubled at all, and that's why even though it's a 2-0 scoreline, I think if you had said it was 5-0, you would have felt like, okay, that makes sense. I don't think being 2-0 down is like close when you can't even create one single shot on goal, and you're playing against Virgil van Dijk, somebody who just stands in the same vicinity as an attacker, and you just turn the other direction. I think the tie's done.
Well, I guess we'll see in the second legs, but let's go on. We're going to talk about the women, Jess, again. I am so excited. Barcelona-Wolfsburg, Barcelona 5, Wolfsburg 1. We got a little video from a fan of inside the stadium of Camp Nou. Over 91,000 fans were there to celebrate this win and to see lots of golazos.
Imagine if that was supposed to be at a smaller venue. I still think 91,000 would have shown up.
Yeah.
Because they're rabid about this game. That's incredible. I mean, that's just so cool to look at. And Camp Nou is obviously, we all know the history there. It's beautiful.
I mean, and they put on a show. I mean, 6 goals, but 5 goals for Barcelona. I mean, this team is phenomenal. They are so fun to watch. They have so many incredible players. So what was your take?
Well, I want to jump in here and ask you, ladies, because you're the experts here. I watched this game, and I respect Wolfsburg because they are a team that has done well in this competition. Other than the Lions, they are actually one of the teams that have won this competition the most. But what were they thinking going against this Barcelona team with this firepower at the Camp Nou and just playing such a high line?
You can't.
Well, I can't say that I fault them too much because we've seen teams that sit in against Barcelona and still get picked apart. They have the power and pace in behind with like Liga Martins and Caroline Graham Hansen as well. Like they have very quick players, Oshuala as well. So they can either pick the lock or they can just beat you with pace. And that's the type of team that they've built. They built an all-around team that really has very little flaws. You think that there's one there, but there really isn't. And so I think Wolfsburg just did what they thought was best, and it may seem naive, but even if they had sat in, they still would have picked the lock on them. Maybe they could have kept it closer.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been a 1-0, 2-0 or something, but I just think when you look at the team like that Barcelona has with Alexia Putellas, Hermoso, like what are you gonna do? I just don't see anybody really getting close to them. And so Wolfsburg did as good as they can. Like you said, they have European pedigree. They've won the Champions League twice, but that's just how good this Barcelona team is. And I'm really comfortable saying that they are the best women's team I've ever seen play, better than even peak Lyon teams.
Yeah, and the fans are enjoying it more than the men's side, so that's a plus.
Well, one fan is enjoying my kit. Gus in the chat says he loves my kit. And both of you might think, oh, Vince, Juventus has been knocked out of both the women's and the men's Champions League. However, Juventus Stadium will host the Women's Champions League final. That's why I wore this today. So there was a method to the madness. But let's go from one side where I think we feel like, no offense to Wolfsburg, but it seems like it's done and dusted. Yeah. Let's go to the side that was much more competitive, and it's 2 teams from France. It's Lyon, who definitely is the most decorated team in this competition. They find a way 3-2 with PSG. It's weird to talk about PSG as like the plucky upstarts trying to overthrow Lyon, but thoughts on this game? It's, Lyon got goals from where they expect goals from their captain, Wendy Renard, and Macario. But PSG, warning shot. First 6 minutes said, hey, you better take us seriously. So what do we think about the 3-2 in this game?
Well, I think it's always such a great matchup between the two of them. I have my Canadian sisters on both sides, and so I always love watching them go head to head. And, Lyon always usually has the upper hand, but PSG is always fighting. I mean, it's only 3-2. So in the second leg, it could be a different story. And I mean, PSG gets on the board first because they're high pressing, and this breaks down Lyon's defense, and they kind of caught him off guard. And then Macario answers. I mean, let's just talk about her for a second here. I mean, she is just a phenomenal player. I had the opportunity to actually play with her against Liverpool one time. We had this just friendly game, and I was just in awe of this player. And
is that why you're retired now? No.
Yeah, no, but now just to see how much she's grown, and now the addition of Lindsay Horan in the middle, it's just a fun squad to watch, and just to see her kind of come out of her shell and blossom a little bit, it's quite entertaining.
Yeah, I definitely, like you, love this matchup. It's one that's become a lot closer in recent years, and you look at Lyon, they're 5 points clear of PSG in their league, but PSG won the league last year, so that just speaks to how close this matchup is. But I think the difference between Lyon and PSG now is the recruitment that Lyon did in the last 12 months. They brought in players like Endler, who actually used to play on PSG. That's their old keeper. Haran. They've also brought in Carpenter, who's Australian, I think, defender as well. But the key to that was really Macario with 20 goals and 6 assists in her second season at Lyon, and she's really the difference. And with Ada Hegenberg coming back from her injury, this looks like a team that's getting back to their full strength. But PSG have really good players as well. Diani, Katoto, Baltimore, they have their own firepower. And like you said, they're a plucky upstart. They're a young team that's looking to overthrow Lyon. So I wouldn't really count them out just because Lyon is such a great team. And this is a tie that I would like to see go all the way to penalties. Like, it's such a good matchup, and the difference in the two styles and the difference in where these two teams are, I just think it adds to a great story for this Champions League.
Yeah, and they're playing at PSG next week, so.
They'll be
weekend.
back. They'll be playing at PSG, but so then if we say that Barcelona right now is the most electric side in the women's game, actually probably in both games, men's and women's game, let's just be honest here.
Yeah.
If they're the most electric side, which team, Lyon, PSG, has the best chance to make this a competitive final?
I think it's hard. I think they're both very, very strong sides. I would like to see Wendy Renard and Khadijah Buchanan, my two center backs, go up against Hermoso and Patelis and all those girls. I think it's going to be a great matchup regardless, whoever goes through. I'll support either side, but I think that Lyon is going to go through, and it's going to be a good game against Barcelona.
Yeah, I would see maybe the closest team to Barcelona at this point is probably Lyon, with the types of players that they have. I mean, they have world-class players in their ranks, and they've been there and done that. They've won the Champions League before in their own right, but I still think there's a huge gap between the two teams. There's just something about Barcelona, those players coming up from La Masia, just like the men's team does, and then adding world-class talent. I just don't see anybody getting close, but a Lyon-Barcelona final is definitely something I'd be sitting on my couch with popcorn watching. So we'll see what happens in those legs.
And there's only 41,000 at Juventus Stadium, so we already know they can get 91,000 for a
Exactly.
semifinal. They better have some extra seats on board there at Juventus, and maybe some bars around there, because there's going to probably be 90,000 that are going to try to be in that game.
That would be excellent. So moving forward to Pumas versus Seattle in the Concacaf Champions League. So we're going into a completely different direction. We went from Women's Champions League to Concacaf Champions League. So, but Pumas and Sounders went away with a 2-2 draw in that game. And the Sounders used 2 penalty kicks to come back and draw in Mexico City. Vince, was the main character in this match the referee, or do we have other things to talk about?
We have other things to talk about, but he was. But ultimately, I think him and the VAR staff did get it right. I didn't love all the calls, but I think when you look back at it and when you see the first penalty, I thought it was soft, but it wasn't too soft that you couldn't turn it over. I think they did clear and obvious in the correct way there. Really, I think the biggest storyline from this is Seattle's got to be breathing a sigh of relief, because even though Nico Ladero scores 2 goals, he was not good in this game.
Yeah.
Jordan Morris was not good in this game. I would say that Raul Ruiz, who had their best opportunity, yes, it's a great save, but he's not able to put that away. Normally, he would put that away. So when a Pumas team, their best player is the best player on their team, Danilo, 2 goals, and then Seattle looks and goes, none of our best players showed up today. Thank goodness we're getting out of there with a 2-2 draw. I think that's what it's got to be the big story. And now going to Seattle, where away goals don't matter. I mean, 2 away goals would have been nice, but they don't matter. We're basically at 0-0, but they are going home to Seattle. Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of a sloppy game because obviously it was raining pretty hard. So it's kind of a back and forth game. I want to ask your opinion. What do you guys think about the PK situation with Stephen Fry when he stopped it and then VAR took it back?
I don't love those, but it was correct.
Yeah. At first, from the angle, I was like, no way, he was on the line. And then when we see VAR in the back, I was like, okay, I understand that. But just going off of you, I think Seattle being in this final was a better decision than NYCFC. I think they're definitely the side that can really compete the most with Pumas. I would like to see Seattle, those type of players that as I said, they outshot, really capitalize on those shots. So they really need to step up, and they really need to come to play next game. So they got to score some goals.
So who's the favorite now? Pumas or are the Sounders?
I still think the Sounders are the favorite because I do think, look, you know those games where like a team plays like well up to a certain point where like they're getting maybe into the final third and then just from there it seems like everything's falling apart. That's what Seattle felt like.
Yeah.
Because their counter press was actually on point.
Yeah, I agree.
So they were able to recycle a lot of opportunities, but then they fell into this like maybe it was a fear because they're away from home. This kind of idea of let's just cross the ball. Let's just get into the box and see what we can make happen. And Pumas were all too happy to say, hey, that's how we play.
Yeah.
So let's this is what we train every day in practice. That's fine with us. And I would love to see a game more so where Seattle imposes their own style because I do think they have a style where they can actually be very compact and do a lot of things well in all aspects of the game. This game, other than counter-pressing, I didn't see much from them.
Yeah, I agree. Everything that you said, I'm going to echo all of that. But I would like to see my man, Rui Diaz. I love him as a player. I love
Diaz
watching.
is an incredible forward.
He's so fun
Incredible.
to watch. So I want to see him get a goal this next leg. But I'm going to have to say Seattle. I want to see an MLS team win this.
Well, ladies, we are going to have some fun.
I'm ready. I love fun.
I'm not sure if people know this. There's another sport called football in this country. And they have this big thing called the draft. And it's very popular. People even go to homes and drink and watch it. They're watching literally people get picked by teams. They don't play each other. They just then go show up, wave, they hold up the jersey, put on a hat, and it's a big deal. So we're gonna do our own draft. We're gonna do a world football draft, the other football. And we're gonna open it up to any player in the world. That means men's or women's game. So each of us are gonna get three picks. Now, we did not sort out an order, so we've got to do a little competition here.
I love competitions. Let's go.
So we're going to do a three-way Rochambeau.
Okay.
First one to lose is out, and then the top two will go best 2 out of 3. Okay? And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, shoot. Just so we're all on board here. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, I think that means that she just wins. We don't even have to go to the next round. She just knocked both of us out.
Wait.
So don't win.
No, you guys.
No, we go for second. So we'll just do best of 1 because there's no point in celebrating second here. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Participation trophy.
Okay. First, second, I will go third.
The way I
Ladies,
like
let me
it.
hand out
Number
the
1,
boards here.
baby.
Here,
Oh, I have so many players I
here
want
are
to
your
draft. I
pens.
don't know who I'm going to choose.
here are your whiteboards. This will be a snake draft, which means Lauren will pick first, Jess will pick second, I will pick third, and then get to come back and have a pick.
All right.
Okay? And so we're gonna write them down. You'll turn around 1 each, obviously. So Lauren, you're up first.
Okay.
Who are you taking in the all-world draft, number 1 pick of 2022 to start a team from scratch?
Okay. So it's really important to start with the defense first. I'm going to go with a goalkeeper. I'm going to go with Christine Endler. I love her. She's one of my
Goalkeeper.
Yes, I'm going to go with a goalkeeper.
Ooh,
You have to.
Hot take.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
what it's all about.
Go ahead and write her in there as she writes in Endler in there. How do we feel
I was
about a
gonna
goalkeeper
pick-
chosen
I'm going to
first?
pick Fry, but
Jess, would you have gone? Wait, you were going to pick Fry as your first pick?
I actually really like watching him play. I've liked watching him play for many years.
I feel
He's
like
been doing really well.
we're not.
He
we're
is. No,
not
he's a
picking
very good
three
goalkeeper.
aside. We're adding to an existing team, and we're trying to get
Well, I mean, you probably would pick okay, I'm a defensive-minded brain, okay?
Okay.
And I think defense wins championships, so this is the way I start. You guys are probably going to choose forwards first.
Possibly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you know,
Well,
I know
I know
Jessica,
you got to score goals.
I am.
I get that, but we're going to stop all the goals, so I'm
got
not
it,
worried.
got it. Well, Jessica, where's your mind at as you're writing in your board?
I'm going with Big Benz, man. Kareem Benzema is my number
Yeah.
one.
Show it. Yeah, show it to the screen.
You guys see?
Big Benz, Kareem
Oh, here.
Benzema.
Look, I would have gone for him as well, too. I understand, but I still think it's smart to start with.
Gotta go for.
I mean, he's a clutch player, so.
Well, she gets to go forward. See, this is what you guys won the Rochambeau. However, I get to do 2 picks here, so I could go. I
you
can
get
do
2
both a
picks.
forward
Sound good, right?
and and I'm going to just give him this because I think he would prefer that I make sure that he gets
Okay.
picked first. It's Kylian Mbappe.
Nice.
He will be my first, and
Okay.
I'm gonna go one a little bit different because you said we could do this.
Don't take. Okay.
Yes, I'm taking her.
You know what? I was going to take her, but I came with the goalkeeper first.
Wendy
One of the best
Renard,
in the world.
who has been incredible for both Lyon and France, is a leader. Look, in terms of what she does on the field, and we talked a little bit about like this with Virgil van Dijk, she has this gravity where you get near her and you just want to stop playing.
It's called the aura.
Yes, it's the aura, as Jess says. So that's where I'm going.
am I next?
So next, no, you gotta wait. That's what you get when you go first. You gotta
she
wait.
Took my player.
Oh no,
Captain.
Putellas from Barcelona.
Putellas,
Why do you love her?
Ballon d'Or winner, best women's player in the world.
Yes.
Plays on the best team in the world.
Yes.
Is one of the best creative players in the world.
How does she fit with Benz?
Well, she's going to be our creative midfielder. She's
Got
going
it.
to be like number 10 kind of player.
You think
so
you feel like he comes short? You know, are they gonna bump into each other a little bit?
I think literally what I need Kareem Benzema to do is just hit the ball in the back of the net.
Got it.
Because even though he comes deep, sometimes he also can just play like a complete 9.
Okay.
He's a playmaker, so she's going to be playing off of him. Those two together.
Just FYI, my team is already way
Okay.
better.
Okay, is it my turn now? Kevin De Bruyne, baby! I love him. I'm obviously a City fan, but just everything about him. He just has a presence on the field. He finds himself in those spaces. He takes shots. He scores goals.
Okay.
He's strong, physical. He's good on and off the ball. He's the total package, in my opinion.
Okay.
So that is why I chose him.
Your next pick has to be
now-
somebody that
Yeah, so
can
now you get
score.
now you get the
I know,
benefit.
I
You get the
know.
benefit of the
Have to.
snake. So yeah, you're going from back to
Wait, do
front.
I get to
like
go
this.
again?
Yes, you do. You get
Okay.
to go again. So you, like I said, you're going back to front. You have a goalkeeper. You have an incredible midfielder. I think an all-around midfielder.
Okay,
He can be
okay.
a playmaker, but he can get out
You
there.
guys
and
are
press.
probably going to not be impressed with this.
If
but
it's Stefan Fry, I'm going to be
It's
so
easy
mad
to be
right
a
now.
striker.
Who do we got here? Oh God.
I
Okay.
know.
All right.
Come on,
He can
he's
score
a
some goals.
youngster and he's doing
Oh,
things.
you really like
Yeah.
City.
I know. Okay, I do, but
There's a sky blue tinge to this board.
Yeah.
I also think he's been a bright spot for this team.
Okay.
I mean, coming off the bench or starting. He scored a goal his last game too. He's scoring goals. He's finding himself in the correct channels. He's making runs. He's just a hard worker, and I think he's young, and I need some youth on this team, and so I think he's the next big thing.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Hot take.
It is a hot take.
No, it's
but
not.
Foden.
What do you think about his
Got you.
hairstyles?
Like Little Caesar cut.
I mean, he makes him look young, but yeah. What do you know about him? kidding.
I envy
Just
it
kidding.
quite often. That's what I know. All right, Jess, what do you got? You've got 2 attacking players as well. So,
All right, so now I need to defend, and I have Virgil van Dijk slash.
oh, did you get a 4th pick? You got to pick his aura too.
Yeah, the aura.
Okay.
He was on my
I now have
list
the
too.
aura on my team, so there you go.
Explain. I do like the way your team's put together. So explain just kind of the spine of your team here.
I literally have like the best player on the planet right now in Kareem Benzema on my team.
Yes.
There's no way. I mean, there's no way that this is a bad pick at all. Then I pick Alexios Putellas, one of the best creative midfielders in the world for Barcelona. She's just excellent. She's going to work well in my midfield. She also works really hard. Virgil van Dijk, he's going to give me the aura. Attackers are not coming towards me. De Bruyne, Foden, they're not coming towards my team at all.
They're just stopping him.
They're just
tearing you up.
stopping.
Giving the ball away.
And he can also score goals as well on corner kicks. So I have a very good team here.
It's gonna outmuscle him.
Okay, so I have an attacker. I have an incredible defensive stopper. And now I have what I think is one of the most difficult positions to pick. Eduardo Kamavinga.
Interesting.
He is very interesting to me because I think he is what the modern 6 will become. He's a player that can play the 6. He can play box to box as well, and he can score some goals. The one thing that he actually does need to bring to his game, which a lot of modern 6s do, is he's not a tempo setter with his passing.
Yeah.
I think he can do that because he's still very young. But in terms of dribbling, and we know this here from being in Los Angeles, and Eduardo Kamavinga, who re-envisioned the number 6 position in a way that we don't see very often, because the 6, it's 1-2 touches, ball off your feet. I think Kamavinga can do that, but also, if you get close to this guy, he's gonna spin you, he's gonna run right by you, he's gonna run by the next guy, you give him a head of speed, and he's gonna make you pay. So, I like playing. So who do we think?
I know. I probably should.
Who do we think we has the best team?
Center back. This is what happens.
This is
where you can tell who's the defender in this group.
You picked a goalkeeper.
I'm very happy.
super
Look, I
stoked with my
probably
team.
should have started with a center back. I agree with you, and I was going to pick Virgil, and
Yep.
I had Renard on my list as well. So you know what?
I think,
Maybe I failed at this.
well, here's the deal. Your
competition.
tactical error was this. You could have gotten a goalkeeper
I know.
there.
Yeah. Well, I thought that maybe you guys would have had the same mindset as me and thought
Jess,
that defense wins games.
how do we, well, we do think the defense is important, but how do we feel about goalkeepers?
Yeah, I just feel like
Not people.
goalkeepers can definitely make a difference with your team, but if I have to choose, I would just choose a defender instead of a goalkeeper, because they can't score you goals either, unless they're Allison.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, but I do like your team. It's still a good team.
All right, ladies, hand me the boards. This was fun.
Look at that.
I think we can. There's always different ways to do drafts. Soccer, or should I say, football around the world does. They make fun of MLS for having a draft, but they miss out, especially when it comes to expansion draft. They miss out. So I'm going to move us right along, and we are going into stoppage time now. Stoppage time is our chance to rant on something. Jessica, you are first with your stoppage time topic. What do you got?
Yeah, so my stoppage time topic is kind of about Real Madrid and the Champions League, kind of what we were talking about earlier. When you're watching football, it's the most beautiful game, but you don't want it to be predictable. You want to watch a game and kind of feel like anything can happen. And Real Madrid has really been the trigger for that in this Champions League tournament this time around. Against PSG, down and out, still go through. Against Chelsea, look like they're down and out in the second leg, go through. Now against Manchester City, giving us one of the most entertaining games in the Champions League this season. I just think when you have teams like this, it just makes it fun to watch football. But equally, just because I chose this stoppage time topic to want to talk about Real Madrid, but I have to kind of talk about Kareem Benzema. He's one of the most, I think, appreciated elite goal scorers in the world. He's only getting plaudits now at 35 years old, 34, 35 years old. He's the top Champions League goal scorer. He has 40 goals this season alone. And he's just somebody that needs to be recognized, and he needs to win the Ballon d'Or. If anybody else gets it, it's a shambles. Like, he literally is the only option. And so for me, watching Kareem Benzema in this Champions League, getting the hat trick against PSG, getting a hat trick against Chelsea, getting 2 goals against Manchester City, one of the best teams that we've ever seen, really, and then scoring a Panenka on the penalty spot after missing 2 penalties the week prior. I mean, this is insane. Elite goal scoring that we're getting to watch. We're so lucky to watch him play, and this Real Madrid team with Modric, with Casemiro, with Courtois. So I'm just happy to watch Real Madrid and Benzema play these games, because this is what the game is about.
Messi and Ronaldo, who, right?
Yeah, Messi and Ronaldo.
Did you guys know that that's like the biggest thing that Thierry was talking about, how goalkeepers they didn't do their homework. Like, if you miss 2 PKs in a row or you miss a PK, you're going down the center.
Before I comment on that, can we talk about how you just casually dropped Thierry Henry as if you're like,
No,
Thierry,
I was just saying,
he's
like,
my bud,
I was watching
my bro,
it.
Thierry Henry. No, it is true that they've done studies on this, and if you go down the middle, your chances are much higher.
Yeah.
However, the cold-blooded nature of the way he went down.
I was like, oh, dirty.
What they say is if you go down the middle, but you blast it down the middle, and at a certain height, it's good. But he got the height right, and then he just, beautiful.
He's a thing of beauty.
But Lauren, you are up with your
I am up. Okay, so my topic is...
Good friend of Thierry Henry, Lauren Sesselmann.
VAR finally got it right. You know, there's a lot of disdain for VAR. You gotta love it, you gotta hate it. Going into this Pumas Seattle game, also in the Man City game, it was kind of that handball, which I'm not even really sure that was the right call, but I'm saying VAR did get it right, and that's what the ref said. So in the Pumas Seattle game, VAR definitely got those right, giving them PKs, even though those goals aren't going to count for Seattle, unfortunately. But yeah, I usually say VAR gets it wrong because I hate it so much, but in this instance, VAR got it right.
Spot on this time. Okay. I already said it. I think that I didn't love all the calls, but I really can't pull them apart. I think at the end of the day, I think those were the right calls.
Yeah.
And it's just the way they go. All right, I'm up. I'm talking about Bayern Munich. They've just won their 10th straight Bundesliga title, and I'm seeing a lot of people on social media say, this sucks. Germany sucks. There's nothing good about the Bundesliga. Bayern just keeps winning.
I'm one of those people.
No, I think... Well, Jess is one of those people. Well, then, Jess, I'm speaking to you and to everyone else. I think this is okay. Look, celebrate greatness one. Bayern has done it different ways. Sometimes they've done it with just stars, kind of the Real Madrid method. Lately, they've been doing it by buying young players within the Bundesliga almost exclusively. I would say they don't do it quite the way that Man City does, where they just buy from all over the place. Real Madrid does that as well. I think it's a model that the Bundesliga could emulate other teams like the Dortmunds, like hopefully one day maybe like an Eintracht Frankfurt, who's been playing very well right now. There is a lot of talent that goes undiscovered. Bayern just buys the guys that go to the very top, but I still think there's a layer of talent within this Bundesliga and within the German Federation that can make your team good enough and to be a team, but you have to have the courage, I believe, to hold these guys together long enough. That's the big problem. You get a couple guys together like a Kai Havertz or a Timo Werner, and you give them 1 year, and the next thing you know, you're already looking for that paycheck.
Yeah.
So I would say Bundesliga teams, if you want to break the monopoly that Bayern has on that title, you're going to have to be brave, and you're going to have to find a way to engineer some kind of loyalty within your youngsters and say, stick with us for 3 years. We can make a real run, and you will be the team that has broken up this monopoly of Bayern, and you'll go down in history. Easily done, right?
Easily done.
Nice enough. All right, you guys, that's it for our show today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, all of your 110 football shows are also podcasts, so you can actually listen to us as well if you don't want to see us, but I don't know why you wouldn't want to see us. So you can go to your Spotify, your Apple, and you'll find us there. So make sure you check us out there as well.
And there's a lot more coming up this week. This is not the end of the week for us. On Sunday, we will be at the LAFC game at the Bank. We will be doing our pre and post game. That's the 110 football tailgate, and then post game, that's a late game. So call out for work the next day. And then Monday, we'll be back in the studio for LAFC 360, which is our LAFC show, obviously, at 1 p.m. And then the Expansion Mansion covering all of MLS at 4 p.m. And that is a show that we need you guys. We need all of you guys to join us. We need your questions. We need your comments. It's always a lot of fun when that chat is humming. And that's it. We're out of here.
All right.
We're out of here. Of course, as we finish, no more planes. So what can you do? All right. That was great. Very good to be here. Great having you guys. Soccer balls. We're gonna go kick some soccer balls around.
Keep following along.
Hi guys. I'm not gonna throw my stuff on the ground.